let's talk about just these top 5 players here. Again, it's very difficult. We had another wild week in the Premier League with so many great attacking talents on fire, hat tricks, great goalkeeping displays. So again, I'm starting off by saying these are 5 players, but I could have easily gone with 15 or 20 because this is tough. This is a tough job I've been given here. But number 5, Jack Grealish, I'm going with him. Instrumental in Aston Villa's big win at Fulham. Had that goal early on which set the tone. He was a constant pest. I mean, Dennis Adoy must be having nightmares about Grealish because he was buzzing around everywhere, seems hungrier than ever. And Dean Smith said that these new signings that have come in, and Aston Villa have bought well, by the way, hasn't been the case in the past, but this summer they have. They said they've taken a lot of pressure off of Grealish. And you can see that. He's playing with more creativity, a smile on his face. Obviously, he signed a new long-term contract, and he's got his England debut. So things are going well for Villa, and things are going well for Grealish. So he's in my top 5 this week. Number 4, I've got James Rodriguez. He's down 1 place slightly, but he was involved in everything good that Everton did at Palace. Lovely ball to set up the move for the first goal. Clip ball in. Wasn't a handball on Joel Ward. We've already talked about the handball situation. But James, when he's on the ball, the creativity around him, the life he brings to this Everton attack, it really is wonderful to see. You know, it really, you know, he's had some interesting tweets with people having threads about how bad he was at Real Madrid. And then his response was, well, it really wasn't that bad, was it? If you look at the stats, I'm actually a very good player and won Champions Leagues and La Liga midfielder of the year. So it looks like the best bit of business of the summer so far to get James in at Everton. But let's see when he goes into January, February, the wind and the cold is whipping off the Mersey and it's snowy and icy. I know it snows in Madrid and other places he's played and Munich, everywhere else, but there's no doubting that the Premier League is a different beast. So let's see what happens with James. I've gone for Trent Alexander-Arnold at number 3. Some lovely crosses against Arsenal. Really is the only right back in the world who seems to dominate play from right back. He continues to just push so high, starts that high press, is an extra attacker. And I'm convinced that somewhere along the line, he will end up as an attacking player or even a forward, you know, in one of those, when Salah, Mane, Firmino, when the Liverpool fans don't want to think about it, but when they eventually move on, I think he could be a forward with his attacking intent and his creativity up there. So he's in number 3. Number 2, Jamie Vardy. He's up 9 places in my latest rankings. Of course, had that hat-trick against Man City, cut the penalty kicks. I mean, ripped him to shreds like he has done so many times against Guardiola's side. Leicester are perfect. Vardy started off the season really, really well. Obviously, he has that confidence of the Golden Boot last season. And he's just smart, you know. He's not wasting any energy whatsoever. He's a wily old fox now. You know, plays for the Foxes, makes sense, checks out. But for me, Vardy is a player that's reinvented himself under Brendan Rodgers. And, you know, if that injury isn't serious, they'll be hoping that it isn't. And Leicester, again, a lot of people are talking about them being under the radar for a top 4 spot. And I can see that, especially with some of the struggles we talked about with Chelsea, Man United, and Arsenal and Tottenham rebuilding and all the rest of it. So we'll wait and see. If Vardy keeps scoring, Leicester are going to be right in the hunt for the top 4 spot. And then number 1, I'm going to go with Sadio Mane again. I mean, 1 goal. Of course, he had that elbow for the red card situation early against Arsenal. Probably got away with one there, in my opinion. But he's just a box of tricks. Like he probably doesn't know at times what he's doing, and that's no disrespect to him. But he just plays off the cuff. It works so well. Defenders are petrified of him. And again, I voted for him for my Football Writers Player of the Year last year. He's brilliant, and I really do love watching Sadio Mane. So if you want to see my top 20 in the Premier League player power rankings, go on to ProSoccerTalk at NBCSports.com. All 20 are listed there. Those are my top 5. And Nick, Andy, anything to jump in there with players I missed out or anything? Anybody else you think deserves to be in the top 5 of the power rankings this week?
I do. Listen, I'm going to toot this one for a long time because he's carrying United, and it's Bruno Fernandes. It is right now, I just thought of this, ready for this? It's Bruno or it's brutal. I mean, that's where they're at right now. He is one of the only attacking players who's averaging more than 70 passes a game. He's absolutely driving them. That I can't say enough about how good he was against Palace. And what I didn't know when they signed him was how good he was and committed to tackling and interceptions. His heat map's crazy. He's on the left side. He's on the right side. He's in his own half. He's in the attacking third. He might be, the next level below KDB. I absolutely love this guy, and it might be why Ed Woodward's holding on to his job.
Absolutely. Andy, anybody else you think deserves an honorable mention or to sneak into that top 5?
Not to sneak into the top 5, but certainly worth mentioning, and a name that people probably need to familiarize themselves with just a little bit more. Jack Harrison, coming from New York City FC, sold to Manchester City, and then gone out on loan a couple times. Now at Leeds United, he got the assist for their late winner to Patrick Bamford over the weekend. Right. He had a goal in the opening day against Liverpool. He continues to climb and climb and climb in the world of this game, to the point that every time he makes a step up, I think, oh, I didn't know he could do that. I didn't know he was cut out for that level, that he had that quality. And so if this is just going to continue from him, then he's going to end up at a top 6 side within the next couple of years. And we could be talking about, him as kind of one of those very unique paths to stardom in the Premier League.
Absolutely. Of course, Man United Academy product, then went to Wake Forest, New York City FC, got drafted, and ended up at Man City, out on loan. And Jack Harrison, he was on my list, I've got to say it now, but he was on my list of sort of players that could sneak in there. And I think we're going to see a lot of him in the Premier League in the years to come, be it with Leeds United, Andy, or someone else. So the latest player rankings, go over to ProSoccerTalk on NBCSports.com. We'll have you covered, and we can debate about it there, because that's pretty much what we spend our spare time doing. Who's a good player, who's going where, and who deserves what.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe. Make sure you subscribe to watch highlights all season long, and always join us every weekend at 7 a.m. on NBCSN for Premier League mornings. Plus, make sure you subscribe to Peacock Premium as well, where you can watch exclusively live 175 games and same-day on-demand replays of all 380 Premier League matches as well.